Okay. Sorry, guys. Pat's on his way. Oh my gosh. Can you see me? Is it happening? Woo. Sorry about that. Who called it? I think it was Stephanie or Kimmy. This is the new stream. Can you see me? Can everybody see me? Do you guys see me? Can I just like something in the thing? Because I feel like I'm not. I get. Thank you. All right, we're here. We're here. We're here.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, we're going to give a couple seconds to come back. That's amazing. There's so much grossness in there, but I guess we can't show it, even though that's fair usage. But gross. Are you putting something out? Because I did it from my own, and I should have done it from Punch Up.
Oh, I tweeted. I'll retweet it from Punch Up.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. I mean, not, but yeah, maybe just tag us both into it just because whatever. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Like, you can't even, like, isn't that supposed to be sort of like news?
It's supposed to be fair use.
Cora,
Sorry, it just flat out is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yes. New stream. Here we are. Thank you. Yeah. They shut you down. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So back up.
I wasn't able to tag us, sorry, because I just hit the retweet.
Yeah, that's okay. Fast, it's fine. But... Yeah. God, that's just so gross. But let's just talk about the genesis of it, of course, is the horrible poll numbers, right? And then we saw, and this is so gross. So moveon.org, which everybody thinks of as sort of like a progressive part of a PAC or whatever for the Democratic Party. Just as a reminder, they started, and I mean, I agree on some level, but like they started after Bill Clinton was impeached for getting a blowjob and lying about it. Thank you, Chris. Smash that like button. That will help you in the notifications. You'll see it comes back on. So move on. The reason it's called move on is like we have to move on from Bill Clinton acting disgusting and, you know, with his intern. Whatever, right. Disgusting.
But meanwhile,
I don't even care, like whatever. But anyway, so now they're partnering with Third Way, which is like, you know, this disgusting corporate far right Democrats, whatever, saying how they have to smash the third parties, even though Third Way actually was going to run Manchin, third party. Narrow margins expected. We're going to fight for every inch and every vote, and we need you to join us. Fight for every single RFK junior vote we can. The surge of Harris Wall's energy has put hundreds of thousands of voters back in play. We will fight for every single one of his voters who could be persuaded to support the Harris Wall's ticket. You know, I actually thought that was interesting because, I mean, he's, you know, why are they fighting for those voters? They're not saying we're going to fight. We're going to go, but like nowhere in that do they say we're going to fight for our left flank, for our left voters. They don't say that at all. Right. We're going to vote for the guy who says, I want our border to resemble that of Israel's border. That's
and what Third Way really is, Third Way is an organization, in case you're turned off by Trump's republicanism and the tone of it, they want to ensure that whoever the alternative is, whether it's on the left or the right, is just as corporate owned either way. And so you've got Move On, whose whole purpose now is to shut down the progressives. So they're equally in sync 100% with Third Way. Yeah. So this should take the mask off entirely right here, that you've got Move On working with Third Way.
100%.
And Third Way was also revealed to be largely a grift from the jump. It was a grift. Like the people that it was founded by a bunch of bullshit artists who are just consultants who are making money off this scam.
Exactly. So that's who they're partnering with to kill any hope from for third parties. Like the only anti-genocidal people are Jill Stein, Cornel West, and Claudia de la Cruz, and Joe Kishore. Like that's it. They're all third party. And they are going to shame the third party voters. Third party candidates have gotten on the ballot in battleground states with Republican help. RFK Jr., Stein, and West have been actively aided and funded by Republican Party operatives and donors. while MAGA celebrities praise them. And then, of course, they are spoiler candidates. Stein will appear on the ballot in at least 5 or 6 key battlegrounds.
Good.
Yeah. Here's the last. It's not enough for us to merely discredit Trump and the third-party spoiler candidates who are enabling his path. The anti-Trump, but meanwhile, like, not enabling him is the person who refuses to go against a genocide. Like, that's enabling him more than anything Jill Stein could do. To accomplish this over the next 2 months, Move On and Third Way will continue partnering on communications and outreach programs against third-party threats. We will continue rapid response and accountability efforts focused on West and Stein while remaining vigilant about other third-party threats, including RFK Jr. We will continue identifying and raising the funds we can to better resource partner groups directly in the key battlegrounds who can help move effective messages to voters. And we will circulate additional research to allied organizations about the best messages to move voters away from third parties. You know, it's just, they are fighting harder against Jill Stein than against genocide.
And the message they should be taking is, why does she have all this support? She has all this support because she's not supporting the genocide. That's the main reason. There, you know, she's earned her stature on other issues as well. But the main issue right now is people don't want to support this genocide. And you're bringing all these other people to Jill Stein right now with your actions. Yeah. And you can change those actions. You know, yep. Democrats could change those actions. But instead, they got these 2 talking point think tank groups out there giving all the marching orders to every politician who can get on camera anywhere to hit with the old classics about Russia and Jill Stein, and you know, you're going to cost us the election.
Ridiculous things, right?
And so, but it's hitting. AOC is out there with her stupid fucking video.
Nobody needs talking points to know Jill Stein hasn't won so much as a bingo game in the last decade. And if you actually give a damn about people, you organize, build power and infrastructure, and win. So and this was go ahead.
Well, they're using the talking point that Angela was pushing, that you guys never win stuff. You don't organize in the off season,
which is a lie. They do. I mean, they have. I don't know how many people.
Imagine how much
right now, but like
more organizing they could do if they didn't have to spend millions of dollars in each state to win these frivolous lawsuits that are garbage. They always win them.
Right. They try to keep them off the ballots, but it sucks up time, energy, and money. And so then when they lose, it's like, we'll see that they never went. It's just a total self-fulfilling prophecy. And you know, it's so funny, like, not funny, it's disgusting. But if you bring up Jill Stein, right away, you hear, you know, from liberals like, oh, Putin puppet, or you bring up, you know, Assange, I don't like that guy, rape, whatever. Like, but when you talk about Bill Clinton, liberals don't talk about rape. When you talk about Hillary Clinton, they don't say like, oh, but you were having dinner with Putin, or, you know, journalists. Like, why do we only know personal icky stuff that often is lies anyway, but like about the people who are against the empire, against establishment? Like, those are the people, they always plant these accusations that are very difficult to, like, I mean, well, Jill Stein actually was investigated for 3 years, completely exonerated, was not working with Putin, for Putin, anything. She was there actually to talk about how we need more true liberal democracies and freedom of press. And, you know, like, she was there actually to deliver a message against his regime, has been completely exonerated, but that is going to keep coming up every single time.
And it's really a shame, for example, that they're shutting us down over sharing these clips, because that means they get to put out the narrative of what happened with this interview. And we don't get to counter it with the actual things that happened on the interview.
It's really gross. It's really gross. So I know
Thankfully, I don't Twitter exists, as much as I hate Elon Musk, but Twitter exists and people on Twitter have seen these clips.
Yeah. Yep. So
she answered that question so brilliantly. She pushed back on every issue they threw at her, gave her gave the rationale for sticking in the race even if she doesn't win.
Yep.
Gave a historical background about.
Good.
Oh, well, just about how many races they've actually won, that 1,500 local races in the last few years. I mean,
they made the case. Party candidates.
Absolutely. But we don't get to hear that.
People like, AOC Pelosi steals things like the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, reparations, by the way, from the Green Party, and then completely abandons them and lambasts the party that actually came up with the policies that she co-opted to win. It is, that is like that's a level of nefariousness that is just so disgusting. It's so it really turns my stomach. Okay, so what else happened? This is so sad. Butch Ware, do you think we can show his thing? Does he put it out with his own stuff? I don't even know.
I think maybe I don't want the vertical one we might get away with from Butch. Let's try it. If we get booted, we'll do one more stream, but we won't.
All right, yeah. Look for us if we do get, because this was really good also, and Butch really held his own.
Left and right held his own. The combination of those two in a hostile environment, which this clearly was set up to be, and they
total
owned
ambush.
It. And I know people saw Twitter and they saw a lot of the comments, but the comments during this whole video were completely pro Jill Stein and Butch Ware and anti Angela Rye.
Embarrassed for her because she was doing the talking points of white supremacy. 100%. Are you pushing?
Here we go. Here's Butch.
I am personally offended by the way that blackness is being weaponized in this electoral cycle in order to justify white supremacist genocide in Gaza.
Expound.
Please. Malcolm said of Zionism, of the Zionist state, the Israeli state, he said that this is a white Jewish population, the Ashkenazi population, being given power by white imperialists to remove brown Arabs from their land. He said, so therefore Zionism is white supremacy. In 1979, Open Letter to the Born Again, James Baldwin said the same thing. He said the state of Israel was not created for the salvation of the Jews, it was created for the salvation of Western interests. When you go through Kwame Ture, Malcolm X, James Baldwin, Toni Morrison, Angela Davis, Assata Shakur, these are all people that cited the Palestinian resistance movement, not even to bring in the Africans, right? Not to mention Nelson Mandela, not to mention Thomas Sankara, who talked about Zionism as being the face of imperialism in the Middle East, right? This is what the Black radical tradition taught me. And the Black radical tradition taught me that if we weaponize our blackness in favor of white supremacy, then we become apostates from blackness itself, because blackness is not a race. It is an oppositional ideology to white supremacy. I'm a historian of Africa by training. Never before in human history had people speaking hundreds of different languages made themselves into one people, developed a common culture so that you and I can relate to one another. You and I can relate to one another on the basis of a shared culture. And we got our Latin and Caribbean brothers and sisters, especially Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, but also, more broadly, right? They share in that culture. That is a miracle. It's never happened before in human history, because what happened is that an oppositional identity to white supremacy came into being, and that is us. And when I see that identity now being weaponized to justify the most heinous genocide in our time, like Harriet Tubman is rolling over in her grave right now. Sojourner Truth is rolling over in her grave right now. Bell Hooks is rolling over in her grave right now. Who did I miss? Do you know what I'm saying? The idea that we would weaponize something as sacred as Black womanhood and then utilize this to justify blowing up Palestinian cities.
Okay. Never once did Angela Rye or anybody in that room, apart from Jill Stein and Butch Ware, talk about the actual matter at hand, which is the genocide. It was all like, don't you turn your back on me. Don't you say that I'm not going to sit here while you tell me that I'm parroting white supremacist talking points. Did you ever win? It was all these cheap shots. They never once took a moment to talk about the things that are actually making voters run as fast as possible from the Democratic Party.
Amen. And we're just winging it here. Zaina brought up a good point, and Strike, They're eating the cats. Watch out. But I pulled up the YouTube comments and I just want to scroll them real quick. We'll see what people had to say about it. Can you read that?
I don't even think my library readers can help me on this one.
It?
Yeah, forget it. But it did.
Damn it.
I mean, it went on. And yeah. I mean, it went on and on. People were like, this might be the thing that puts her over the edge. I mean, listen, who knows? But the crazy thing was, and really disgusting if you care about genocide. And by the way, again, there were so many things. I hate everything about Kamala and Biden. I think they are despicable. I think they have destroyed so much of our country in various ways. They do not deserve any of us. But like, here comes.
Okay.
Oh, look at you.
It's a little more legible.
Scroll or no? Or is this just?
Yeah, I can scroll it.
Yeah.
I just want to. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to see if we could do it.
No. Listening to these two candidates speak eloquently about everything I care about has helped remind me that I'm not crazy to feel how I feel about this election. Thank you to the Breakfast Club for providing them a platform. That is, I love the way she put that. She phrased that, because that's not what the Breakfast Club intended to do. I just decided to vote for Jill Stein in the Green Party. I'm so relieved that there is an alternative to the red and blue. Dr. Jill and Dr. Butch were the two blackest people in the room. As someone whose name has been mispronounced their entire life, I promise you it's not that serious. Oh, because that was another thing where kept saying Kamala. He kept saying Kamala. Yeah. And again, like, okay, not great. But that's what Angela Rye was like, are you really going to say this? This is triggering for me. Like, he's talking about genocide. I don't know. You're not triggered by blown bodies to bits. Angela's such a distraction, was blatantly rude and combative. To see two black women being so hostile to two people fighting for black people is extremely disappointing. I mean, and by the way, this is not like, what's it called? A bot farm or a AstroTurf thing, because I mean, obviously some of these people might be, but like, the Green Party doesn't have money to fund this. I mean, it does not, like, that's not, this happened organically. And there were, I think, over 10,000 comments under the Breakfast Club's full broadcast of their show on YouTube. It did not go their way. People saw what they were doing. Are we still going to talk about?
We're going to do this for another hour. No,
okay. I'm just going to read with my readers. But anyway, so it was really fantastic to see the response, because this was the whole Bernie playbook again. Right? It was like, oh, one of your supporters once did this, or you're just an old white guy. And meanwhile, I mean, sorry, but like, Jews are 2% of the whole population in the whole world. So like, I know that can sometimes feel uncomfortable, but they're also a minority. Right now, we're in this like horrible time, but like, as Jewish people who are anti-Zionist and anti-genocide, I am very aware that a lot of the people who are sort of using their new platforms. This is not going to be the segue to one of our things, because I don't want this to be brought out right now in conjunction with what I'm saying. But like, there are a lot of anti-Semites who are using what's happening right now to build followers, and then it quickly devolves into really disgusting, like, Nazi rhetoric. So, but like, here's Jill Stein. She's a woman. She's Jewish. There's Butch Ware. He's a black man. Like, this isn't exactly like, they're just doing the same old playbook. It's the same Bernie playbook, right? It's like, oh, Russia. Oh, communism. Oh, you're running against a black man. Deval Patrick. I mean, come on, please. Yes, black man. But like, can we talk policies?
Yeah, and she just brought up that he's black. Like, that's all you need to know if you watch the Breakfast Club or something. Like, no, the viewers said themselves they wanted to know about policy, and they got criticized for how they handled the show because they didn't let her speak on policy. They were trying to pull these.
The world is falling apart. Like, the guy we did the cheers to is saying, and he started it, which I really appreciate him for, because I feel like nobody talks about it anymore. But like, we've got a pandemic. Like, he talked about COVID for a second and then went on to the genocide, and great, but like, they are killing us. every which way. That's more important than, oh, you turned your back on me for a second. And then anyway, so I want to just make sure. Go ahead.
Should we show the hit squad coming after her?
But I don't know exactly which thing you're talking about. Oh.
I
yes,
mean, we could just
good. Yeah, that's
what
I wanted to show. Yeah, because then there's a really good video that is in conjunction with this. So this is one of the uncommitted, abandoned Harris Palestinian American representatives in Georgia, Rua Rahman. And here's Jill Stein saying, you supporting genocide was not on my bingo card. The Democrats have a way of changing people who say they're going to change the party from the inside. And sorry, if you endorse Biden and Harris, you're supporting genocide. There's no way around it. So here's Representative Rua saying, this is so vile in so many ways. AOC was one of the first to call what's happening in Gaza a genocide. That's a lie. I don't think she'd said those words until March or February, but anyway. And AOC, like so many of us, understand the serious threat of a second Trump term. No one would be talking about Stein negatively if she'd focus her efforts in safe states, which is another bullshit thing. It's like, it's like protests where you get all the permits and you do it exactly when they say.
Yeah, you can't exactly run for president. You can't really run for president, is what she's saying there.
Yeah,
you can't. You're not allowed to
sit on the sideline. Like this is that CIA that started with OSS tactic. I agree with everything you're saying, just not the way you say it. And this is what liberals will always do. They will even support genocide while they say it. So here did not go so well for this representative when she was at the ADC, the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee's Arab Con, just I think yesterday. This same representative was on a panel and somebody stood up to talk to her. This is how it went down.
My name is Rania Al-Masri from the swing state of North Carolina. Rua, you were asked a very specific question, and you marvelously evaded the answer by talking about state and not the president.
No, I didn't.
You said that you are still waiting for a response from Kamala Harris. I think her statements in the debate and the platform were very clear that she will continue to support the genocide.
Yep.
And she will continue to propagate Zionist lies. But it's not only that you are continuing to defend a genocider, you are doing worse on Twitter. Because here you have said that we are being pushed to a binary choice. You are pushing us to a binary choice because on social media, you have been attacking the choice that we have, which is presidential candidate Jill Stein. You have called our presidential candidate vile by rejecting genocide. You have called her not strategic because she dares to campaign in swing states. My question to you is, when our people in Palestine are refusing to raise the white flag of surrender, when our people in Palestine are refusing to accept crumbs, why are you? And if you want to hold on to the genocider, please at least do not attack those of us who refuse to bow down to the Democratic presidential candidate and rather want to be a dignified choice.
So, I mean, right?
Not going well for them. And they're all coming out here to attack Jill with the same bullshit. Former progressives, these people that were supposed to be our allies.
This one kind of killed me, actually, I got to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here it is. Oh, Jill Stein only shows up at election time.
Claims to be unconventional alternative, but she's nauseatingly conventional. She shows up every 4 years to make lavish promises, but has no record of producing anything except Republican victories. Hard pass. They love Dick Cheney, though.
And I'm sorry, but nauseatingly conventional. Like her platform is what the Democrats are pretending to support because largely of her platform. And the Greens platform and the pressure from the outside. Like, even if you don't want to vote Green and you're a Democratic insider, if you're a progressive, you should want that pressure to sustain itself. Like, so you're just telling on yourself. AOC, Ellison, all these people are telling on themselves that they're not really for third parties. They're not for pressure from the outside to change their own party from the inside.
And they're not for these policies. Like, I mean, to watch liberals line up and brag and say that they're honored to be the party of Dick Cheney. Like that is Dick Cheney hasn't changed, right? Dick Cheney's the same guy that we all said was evil, because he is, and who stole an election because he did, a war criminal who lied us into the Iraq war. What's the person, Gonzalez, who like justified the torture chambers, which, by the way, like, I mean, I don't know who was first, but like now we're seeing those same torture prisons all over Israel and Gaza and the West Bank, where, like,
yeah, well,
this is all integrated. And so for these people who pretend to be progressive, who run on the Green Party's policies, and then say that they're nauseating and disgusting.
I mean, Guantanamo still exists. Like, every Democrat has said they're going to dismantle Guantanamo, and they're just like, no, really, we like Guantanamo. We like torture. We like everything the Republicans do across the board.
Yeah, that's what they always say. It's complicated. It's complicated. It's why we.
But it keeps going.
Ugh. When Jill Stein loses, the Muslims in Michigan will never hear from her again, as Trump begins his second Muslim ban in conjunction with the mass deportation of 12 million immigrants. In fact, no one will hear from Jill Stein until the next presidential election, if we have one. So there's the fear mongering and the
Democratic talking points. Ben Dixon is a phony piece of shit. He leaned back into Biden
Yeah.
He was behind a lot of the divide on the left. I mean, I remember when people were going, I really suspect, and this is all, you could call it slander, but this is opinion, but I suspect that he and Sean King were trying to form a network together, and that kind of fell apart. But
the North Star,
they were putting out very anti-Bernie shit at the end there. And you talk about grifters, those two are grifters. Sorry. It's been pretty well documented.
The thing that is the reason that it is so putrid is because I know people are scared about it. Another Trump presidency. I am too. I mean, he's awful. I'm scared about a Kamala one also, though. But like, I get it. And I understand that for some people, the fact that she says that she can cook greens in the bathtub and she likes people and we need to all come together and whatever, means they will completely ignore her policies that are almost 100% in line with Trump's policies.
Well, if Kamala wants to cop cities, I mean, she's black.
That's all happening under.
Can't be that bad.
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
be that bad.
Mask bans happening under Democrats. Cop cities under Democrats. Mass deportations. Kids in cages. And fucking genocide. Oh, and by the way, like, killed more people with COVID, a pandemic. We have no public health in this country anymore. All under Democrats. That is, I mean, this is fascism, right? Like, always looking to your corporate owners.
And literally no discussion of COVID at the debate at all. Like, we're just under Democrats. Like, you want to make the case that they're not going to represent us. Like, all the left has to do is actually acknowledge that COVID exists. And you have a big, huge case to fight for people demanding protections for us. But the left has ignored that entirely. But Palestine, barely an issue. COVID, barely an issue.
Climate,
the cop cities not talked about. Fracking, the Democratic Party is like pro fracking, no pushback on like fracking.
I mean, this is horrifying. If you are worried about Project 2025 and you don't realize that it's already been here, it means the Heritage Foundation. It's been here for decades. This is the project. This is what they've been doing. This is what, by the way, all these 200 plus Reagan and George W. Bush Republicans and the Lincoln Project, this is their project. Congratulations. Like, this is their people. So What is the difference? One just is like has a better facade. That's all it is.
And that's Third Way's project too. Let's be real. Third
Yeah.
Way is entirely on board with that, minus the social stuff, because it's branded itself as not for the bad social stuff, which look, we should support LGBTQ plus forever, yada yada.
And Roe v. Wade.
But those are
like,
not economic issues, and all they care about are economic issues. So they can separate themselves from Trump on those things. But Move On shouldn't be partnering with, if you're a lefty group, you should not partner with that vile scum. But
that's all Democrats are now, right? Like the only thing different between Democrats and Republicans right now are LGBTQ rights, which they don't fight for, do anything. They just say, we support you. They'll put like, the flags on their lawn in a heart. And Roe v. Wade, which they aren't going to do anything to secure those rights. But if we get a Senate and a House of Representatives, and if they pass bill, and if that bill comes to Kamala, she'll sign it. There's your warrior. She will sign the bill if it comes to her desk.
Yeah,
are.
It's the same with abortion. If somehow magically Congress gives you an abortion bill.
That's what I just said, dude. Were you
even
did you? Listening to
I wasn't.
me?
I was reading the comments. I was like, I was looking for like, you nailed it, Pat. And nothing.
Are you serious?
I got nothing.
No,
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Not a one.
Come on, come on.
I didn't realize you were talking about abortion because
I mean, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just.
I was worried we were kicked out again, so I started. Somebody said something that made me think we were.
No way,
again
really?
Or something.
Wouldn't that be funny if you and I are just sitting here railing? It'd be like every other day of the week when we're not doing a show, we just sit here like yelling about this.
Honestly, that would be a better show. I'm sorry, people. When we add graphics and actually act like we're on camera, it changes things. You and me together.
This is what we normally do. We just sit here like screaming about other stuff to each other. Okay, is there anything else that we want to share? God, there were so many good clips. What a bummer, but F those people. Oh, this is kind of just a fun timeline cleanse because we're almost at the end, and because it's what we're talking about right now. Can I show the lesser evil one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Spin the wheel, take a drink. Oh God, it's my anniversary. I definitely need another drink. Are you guys all keeping up with me? The party's still happening.
Let's show that clip, and then why don't you throw the wheel up, and we'll spin the wheel for something else.
Oh, do you want me to just do that instead?
You got the wheel?
Yeah, I can do that. Look at me. God, I'm pushing so many buttons.
But I thought we were going to show your lesser evil clip.
I know, well, but then clearly you want to show something else. I don't know what you want to show.
I'm going to show. Here, we're watching the clip while we do this.
All right.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live in my Bill, whatever his name is.
Random people are confused about Decision 2024. Gasoline or nail polish remover? Which drink should represent America? What the f? Neither. Why would I drink those? Oh, good Lord, you're one of those. You have to choose one of those two, or you'll never be able to choose again. Choose which poison I drink? If you choose nail polish remover, you don't have to drink that much of it. But a ton of people will have to drink a lot of it, and it causes extreme suffering and death. You are so selfish. Must be nice being so privileged. I need to see the list of options. A smoothie is on here. That's not an option for everyone. It's an option for most people. The electoral beverage prevents a smoothie from ever winning. No, it doesn't. Who told you that? Okay, fine, it doesn't. But no one will vote for a smoothie because they don't know it's an option. So help me tell everyone. Just get off your moral high horse and vote for drinking nail polish remover. You would rather drink nail polish remover than a smoothie. Actually, yes. I really like the color and shape of the bottle it comes in. You know, whichever liquid wins, you'll have to use it to fight those fires you care so much about. Did you know gasoline is flammable? So is nail polish remover literally won't shut up about how flammable it is. Well, you're throwing your vote away and ruining our country. No, I'm not, because I'm voting for a smoothie. A smoothie. A smoothie. And if everyone would just learn the benefits of a smoothie and help me tell everyone, maybe we wouldn't all have to drink lethal poison. Wow, I finally get what you're saying. You want everyone to drink gasoline! Ah, now that's refreshing.
What is the red line? Like, for Democrats, for libs who say they would never vote for Trump, they hate Trump. They hate Trump more than George W. Bush. They hate him more than that. Hate. What, like, why? What was the thing that makes him so detestable, but not Biden, who had pretty much all the same policies, except for only with the NLRB and Lena Khan, which is big. I agree. Like, that is big. That was great. But he also was like worse on a bunch of stuff. But like, there are people who are like, if you're not pro-choice, I won't vote for you. Well, Democrats, support like Cuellar, right? Over Jessica Cisneros in Texas right after Roe v. Wade was overturned, right? So like, what is the red line? And the red line truly is R or D. And that to me is like, well, then we shouldn't even just have a conversation. Like, you actually don't deserve to have a conversation if you can't talk about the policies. Like, what? Just vote your stupid D. Doesn't matter. Trump is going to go back to being a D at some point. We're going to have a worst fascist, and they're going to give him a cough drop and be like, he's 99% Hitler.
Yeah, well, it's going to be really interesting. We're at the 50-day mark. We vote in 50 days from now, and a lot is going to change from now until the election, and it's still a coin flip basically at this point. But it's a coin flip, I think, strategically, that even with all the dynamics in place right now, Trump is probably still ahead. I really think he is, because you've got to look at the fact that Kamala's got to get out there and talk to people. That's not going well for her. She's 0 for 1 so far.
0 for 2, right? She did her one with Tim Walz.
Yeah,
Also,
her scripted waltz one, but that didn't really hurt her. But her first unscripted real one alone with the softball of softballs did not go well. So,
and I mean, we don't need to share it now. It's so late and all that. But Jake Tapper even, and I'm curious why. And I think it might have something to do with what you said a few weeks ago, that like the corporate media is going to start calling her out, not because they give a shit. He doesn't give a shit, but because ratings and the horse race is better, or the horse race helps them with ratings and it makes it more interesting and fun.
They need the horse race. Yeah, for sure.
Because he's now calling out Kamala on not answering the questions.
Well, they're depriving all these networks of a lot of income that they take for granted every election cycle.
Yeah.
And they're not getting it. I mean, CNN wants another debate, and to not have another debate is really ridiculous. I mean, if Trump doesn't want another debate, though, what can you do about it? But that's really, I think there'll be another debate. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think there will be.
Who's gonna host it?
Well, I don't know who's going to do what and how they're going to navigate that.
I'm just curious, like how they do that, because
I just think he looks too weak, not calling for a debate after losing the debate. I think I agree. They're going to be down. He's going to start seeing prison in his future and get desperate and say, I need a debate. So,
oh my God. All right. That's it, right? For today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Well, I was just going to do a couple of things like housekeeping before we go, before we do the thing.
Housekeeping.
Couple notes from the front office. We are so excited. On Wednesday, we have journalist Sam Husseini on. He is one of those intrepid reporters at the State Department press corps events who truly hold these disgusting ghouls to account, the Matt Millers and John Kirby. We have him on Wednesday, and I
love him so much.
Yeah, he's so great.
Every video I watch, like I pointed out to my buddy, well, my boss, he's now my boss, now listens to stuff about the Palestine war all the time. And I'm like, oh, we got this guy on the show I want to see. You're going to really like him because he's always giving them shit at the State Department. And he puts on a State Department video, and then boom, it happened to be Sam grilling the shit out of Jason or Josh.
Matt Miller, John Kirby. Yeah.
John Kirby. Thank you.
Yeah.
John Kirby.
Yeah. All the ghouls.
He's amazing.
Great. Very excited that we're going to have him on Wednesday. And that was actually my only note, but I just wanted to make sure I got to it because I'm on my third glass of wine, so I'm a little like, phew.
You got anniversary fun to get to.
I know. I still have to go out
Come
for
on.
dinner and have more wine and
Amen.
enjoy my flowers. All right, you guys, thank you. Thank you for coming back. I'm so sorry we got shut down in the middle, but thank you for your perseverance and finding us again tonight.
Absolutely appreciate it. And we're going out on a clip that somebody pulled from Twitter of it's a cam of like 6 protests going on at once for Palestine. Just want to reinforce that people are out there just as hard as they've ever been.
Yep.
No one's backing down from this, and we're not going to. And kudos to everyone still out there fighting.
Keep punching up, everybody. Thank you. We love you guys. See you Wednesday.
Stop the genocide! Stop the genocide! Stop the genocide! Fly high to Palestina!